What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Stella Herself podcast. How are y'all doing? I feel like it's been so long since I've sat right here to record, but if y'all watch my vlogs, which you probably do, but if not, you should, bitch. I've been posting every day. There's nothing worse than a backhanded compliment. Like, obviously there are things worse than that, but basically, I try not to focus on the negatives, and I feel like in general, I don't really get a lot of negativity on my channel. But someone commented on my vlog the other day, like, finally your channel has rose from the dead. Love the uploads, girly. Or like, just keep it to yourself. Like, there's one thing to be like, I love how much you've been posting, or like, I love your new content or something. Like, I feel like that's where I would say to someone if I noticed maybe they were posting more or just like whatever. But like, why would you say it like that, bro? Like, you don't have to throw shade. Anyway, I took last week off of the podcast because last week was election week here in the US of scams, and it was very stressful. Election day is Tuesday, but then, they gotta count all the votes, and it takes years apparently, so we didn't actually find out until Saturday. Low-key, after I think like Thursday or Friday, I was like, I'm not gonna even expect it. Like, I feel like I almost started to relax because I was like, let me just not think about this anymore, because I don't even know when we'll know. It's really just annoying, and it's annoying because there's not really anything you can do in that moment, you just honestly have to wait. So that was a lot, and it's weird. I said this in my vlog, but I kind of wanted to add on to it. It's weird because it was a very specific kind of stress that I was experiencing, at least, that reminded me of the feeling I used to get like when I knew I had a test coming up, or like something that I had to do, like school related. I'm just so glad to not have to really experience that feeling anymore. Like, oh my god. I was thinking about that today, like, damn. I don't know if it's also just like getting older and you realize that like you're capable of doing stuff and stuff passes. I feel like that's maybe part of it. But just like that dread, like, oh, I just hate that. And I feel like, I am one to definitely worry or like really stress myself out over something, but then it happens and it's like fine, and I like it's fine. Like, either I do really well or I do my best, and it's like I get over it. So I don't know if it's probably a combination of all of these things, like just not having to deal with them. Anyway, that's the feeling it was reminding me of, but then it's like it's not something that I have to do. It's like I just have to wait. And it's out of my control. It's not like, well, let me study, or like, let me like practice, it's just like, let me wait. And I feel like just everyone feeling like that, like going on social media even was stressful because it's just all everyone's talking about, like, yeah. But we got through it. And then on Saturday, I'm like, oh, it's supposed to rain today. Let me go film the rain outside. And then I was like, let me do a workout. Cozy vibes, it's gray out. It's nice, relaxing. And I just checked Twitter, like, in between a set or something. I don't even know. It was, like, one of the Chloe Ting 20-second breaks. And then I kept seeing, like, Joe Biden wins. And, we've kind of been seeing that all week. Like, he's projected to win. He's probably going to win. So I just honestly thought it was that. Like, it's officially announced that he is projected to win. Not he has won, projected. But then I was like, oh, shit, this is real. And then I heard people cheering outside, and I was like, bitch. And then, as the day went on, like, there was shenanigans in the street. I want to call it's not even like a protest, though. Like, it was just kind of a parade. And, yeah. So that was great. And then it was very quiet the next few days, which is good because I was just really worried, like, about how intense it would be if Trump won. Y'all know, either you've seen it in your own town or like you've seen the photos and videos. I definitely filmed some of it. I was like, this is historical. Let me get this for my vlog. But all the businesses boarding up, all the apartments boarding up. I was like, yeah, because of all the stuff that went on this summer. And y'all know I'm Like, I think it's so annoying when people are like, there is no need for this violence. Because it's always, like, privileged people that are saying that. Like, oh, we should, you need to fight back with nonviolence. And it's like, I definitely feel like there's a time and place for that. But to literally tell oppressed people or people who, like, this is directly affecting how to handle it, maybe you should try and see where they're coming from. Maybe you should, like, deal with it in this way. Because it's like, if it's people's lives you're talking about, why are you worried about fucking Target's windows getting smashed or Target's merchandise or, like, whatever? And it's like, all those things can be replaced. They put new windows up like that when all of that happened. It's like, you really think a revolution is going to be, like, peaceful when there's all these years of history of, like, oppression and violence towards different groups of people? Like, you think it's just going to be like, why can't we be friends? Like, that's not realistic. But, like, for me, it's like, I'm right in the middle of it, so it's just, like, scary when, you know, they're anticipating riots or whatever. Like, they're bringing in, like, in, what was that, June? Like, they're bringing in, I want to say it was the military, but I don't think it was specifically, but they were bringing in, like, troops. There was police everywhere. Like, that's what scares me. Like, are you going to start killing people? Fucking sirens right now. That's the part that scares me. Like, not the fucking looting. Like, I don't, it's stuff. Like, I don't, like, that pisses me off. Like, people really want to be for whatever cause until it's, like, makes them uncomfortable or, like, well. And that's not to say, like, am I personally going to go out and, like, do that? We just got right into the topic, didn't we? Am I personally going to go out and, like, break a window? No, because that's just not really my personality. I'd be, like, scared to do that. But, like, I'm not going to be like, maybe we should go about this another way. Because it's like, I'm not going to say that when there's literally people being killed. Like, anyway, yeah, so I don't know if you guys noticed, but I feel like throughout the whole election, because, you know, I feel like the election is really months long because you can mail in votes and they start, like, sending you 1,000 texts and 1,000 pieces of mail a day. The thing is, it's, like, the same system. And this guy made this TikTok where he summed it up perfectly, like, presidency or whatever, this government is, like, not good because it, you know, just, you have to think about the history of it, and, like, the founding fathers owned slaves and they were all white men, and we still like operate under this system that has basically been upheld through all of that, through, like, racism and patriarchy and all of these things. So I don't really think, and he said this in his video too, like, there's no such thing as a good president because the whole system is, like, fucked. So yeah, some presidents can be better than others, but they're still all under the same system. Just because someone is, like, charismatic or, like, you feel like you like them more, which, not to say that's, like, the situation, but just in general, that doesn't mean that they're not, like, bombing places or, like, still operating how the United States does. So I was never really, like, posting stuff about, like, oh, we love Biden, because it's like, is he going to be a better president than Trump? Yes, but, like, I'm not. This isn't, like, the world is at peace again, you know? And I've seen a lot of, like, memes, tweets, people saying, like, now we can go back to just regular oppression and, like, oh my God, yeah. It's like, literally, because obviously these past 4 years have been, like, just crazy with the amount. I feel like the amount that was gotten away with, but then it's also, like, again, it's all under the same system, and, like, just because things are done in a way where they appear more, like, professional or more, like, we have everything under control, it doesn't mean that it's, like, helping people or, like, staying out of other countries' business or whatever. And then reading this book, you know, I am reading it a little bit here and there. The shock doctrine, you know, the whole concept of, it's just crazy. Each chapter is, like, another example of how the U.S., like, scammed a country that was undergoing fucking something crazy. Something crazy happens, so the government steps in, or the U.S. steps in, or whoever, and, like, imposes a new system. And because people are in such, like, a confused state, they just go along with it, and bullshit happens. Like 9/11. We're going to impose all these new regulations and like all these new security things because people are scared right now and people are confused and people are terrified. This is the perfect time to do something, because otherwise they would ask questions and they would like fight back, but if they're confused, fuck. Anyways, that's kind of how I feel about it. Hopefully we can make a change, like, but again, it's like, how are you gonna make a change with the same system, the same bullshit, and like, yeah. Thoughts of a random bitch, y'all. Don't come to me for like political I was gonna say advice, but like analysis, because it's not like I am trained in this or like extremely educated in any of this, but just kind of things that I've been thinking about. And yeah, what a fucking time. But hopefully, to go on a lighter note, I feel like this is like fuzzy. Hopefully, you know, in January when Biden becomes IRL president, we have some serious lockdown, and, you know, hopefully there's regular stimulus, and hopefully all of this gets handled better. And I'm very interested to see like how that will be dealt with, because this past year has been crazy. Like, and I know we know that, but thinking like, I just think it will be even more like prominent how fucked up this year was for everyone in this world, but like just how our government dealt with the fucking pandemic. How was that allowed? They gave us one stimulus. They are like, masks, I guess, aren't required everywhere. So yeah, I'm just very interested to see how different it will be. But I really think we're probably gonna go in lockdown. And I tweeted this, but like March is like in 4 months. And I saw this TikTok. This girl, I think, was talking about how she had COVID, and she was like, yeah, in August. And I was like, oh my God. Because I automatically thought of August 2019. That feels like the last summer that we had, like. And then all the comments too were like, I literally thought she was talking about last August, because it's like time just, yeah. I really feel like we're going back to like beginning of quarantine, and I'm not mad, like, honestly, because I feel like that's what we need to do. And just personally, y'all know I've talked about it in my vlogs, but I feel like even regardless of the pandemic and everything, just naturally, I feel like, you know, I've been on my shit, and I have just really been minding my own business, like doing the same thing every day, pretty much, like working out, making videos, going to bed hella early. And that's kind of normal too after summer. You know, I feel like most people can relate, but I'm like, I don't even want to do anything social or like, yeah. And it just really reminds me of beginning of quarantine, when everyone was taking it really seriously and not even seeing their friends. So I'm like glad, because it really needs to be done. But yeah, I'm just very like interested. I literally had a thought, like my brain had a thought earlier when I was doing my mascara. Like my brain, not me, but my brain, I was like, damn, like I haven't gone out in a while. Like I missed the club. Like we should probably go out soon. Bitch. Dude, it's gonna come up to March, and then it's gonna start being like 1 year since we went to the, I don't know, because should be open to other places, but at least for me, like 1 year since I went to the gym, 1 year since I went to the club, 1 year since I last like went to a party. Like that's gonna kind of like make me sad low key, but I don't know. Yes and no, because we've talked about this on this podcast just in general. It's so easy to romanticize the past, at least for me. I don't know. Let me know if you can relate. Sometimes I don't know if other people like feel like that. It's the Cancer, Venus, and Mars, y'all. But in general, it's so easy to romanticize. Like, if I think about it, it's not like the club was that. It was like, okay, I'm just standing here. Sometimes there's some like lulls. I feel like I like going out just for like the memes. You know, like, I know you can relate. You know when you're talking about the night the like last night with your friends the next day. Like, I love that. And then you have like inside jokes. That's like the best. That's like the only reason I like going out. But yeah, just like with everything, it's like, okay, the gym, that's different. Like, I'm actually really sad, but still, it's not like I'm not working out, you know? But damn, that's crazy. I feel like, I don't know. But, you know, everything, I'm the type of person to try and find the good in situations if possible. And I feel like now, you know, self-growth, especially being alone a lot, it's like I feel like you really think about things and reflect and like prioritize certain things, because you realize, like, at least for me, like, I kind of realize what I actually enjoy and then like what is like bullshit. Does that make sense? Like, I don't actually need that. I'm literally fine without it. Who do I actually like hanging out with? Who could I actually like be? Whose presence could I be in right now, and whose am I like actually I'm fine? You know? Even just this year in general, I've talked about it, but you know, I started doing ab workouts. I started like doing yoga regularly, meditating like really regularly. You know, that was stuff I would do before, but not consistently, and now it's like I really do it daily, pretty much. Just the realizations and like reflections. Yeah, I think a good trick and tip is just to not think about everything at once, which can be so hard. But when you feel yourself doing that, because like for me, it's like, is the rest of my 20s gonna like be like, I can't do anything, I can't go to the club, I can't like travel, I can't go meet people? Like, that's so sad. These are like my prime years, or like, you know, just the years where you're so young, and like, not that you can't do any of that when past fucking whatever age, but like, you know, it's easy to start thinking like that. But then it's like, okay, one fucking year at a time, one fucking day at a time, bitch, one moment at a time. Like, you can't predict the future. You don't know what's gonna happen. So just like chill and enjoy the moment. And there's so much in every moment. And I feel like doing regular yoga has really taught me that. Like, doing yoga with Adrienne, she always says like, okay, like this pose may be new for some of you, and some of you may have done this a million times, but even if you are really used to this pose, like, there's always more depth. There's always like a way that you can go deeper and realize like, okay, like, am I focusing on my breath? Am I feeling like how my hands are during this? Or like my feet, like, am I putting enough pressure on this side of my foot? This, that, like, and I feel like that is also true just for life. And it kind of goes to like living in the moment. And sometimes things can feel very like repetitive, or just like I'm doing the same thing every day, like I'm bored. But there's actually so much like depth in everyday life. And I think it really takes like being in the moment to realize that. Like, sometimes I'm just walking down the street, like thinking about what I'm going to do next, or what I'm going to eat next, or like thinking about something that happened. Sometimes I just take a step back and I'm like, the sun actually feels so good on my body right now. Like, this is amazing. Or like, damn, the air is like crisp as hell. This feels good as fuck. And it's just like noticing those things, and it just is like, okay, I'm good right now. Even if you're not good in the moment, you're crying, you're like, you feel fucking angry, it's gonna pass. Let me just get through this. Having that like awareness, I feel like that is the key. But yeah, let me know if you can relate. This coffee is so good. I talk about it in my vlog, but it's just I ordered 2 shots of espresso over ice in a venti cup, and then I went home, added some water and oat milk, because I didn't really want an Americano. I didn't really want a latte, and I was not craving a cold brew today. I wanted like espresso. It's a very different flavor. It's just what I wanted. And it's perfect. And Starbucks coffee, or like espresso, isn't even the best, you know? I've heard people say it before, and I agree. It's almost like they burn their beans or something. My mom used to always say that, because she used to work at Starbucks like before I was born. It's a fun fact. So she would always say that, like, and now I feel it because I know the difference. Okay. So if y'all have seen on IG my little like, what's the tea? Great. One of my favorite things to do on Instagram. Someone said, why won't he commit? Or like, Is that what they said? Yeah. And usually I use this little IG tea time for lols and like reaction pics and just having some fun. And I was like, honestly, I follow this IG account called The Love Therapist, and she posts great fucking content. Like, let me see. Yeah. The.love.therapist. But she just has really cute, little like imageries, and they're just very, very helpful. Like, honestly, so great. So she had this one titled Reasons Why Someone May Not Want to Commit in a Relationship, and I remember seeing it like a couple weeks ago, so I was like, I need to share this because, I could be like, men are just built dumb, or like say something like a lol, but I was like, honestly, this was very helpful. And if you guys have read the 4 agreements, you know that one of them is like, don't take anything personally, and I just feel like that is so true. So like in this list, I'm not gonna read all of them, but y'all can go look if you want. Reasons why someone may not want to commit in a relationship: they move at a different pace and are not ready to commit. They enjoy the chase and excitement of novelty. They're focused on other areas of their life. There's someone else in reality, or a potential someone else. Difficulty trusting, fear of getting closer and getting hurt, past trauma, avoidant or insecure attachment style. There's a difference in priorities, and there are incompatibilities in the relationship. Fear of intimacy and vulnerability, fear of missing out, etc. And it's like, oh my God. Like, I just feel like, if, like, sometimes it's just, like, so easy to take that personally. And it's like, why? It's so frustrating. Especially with, like, dudes, And especially dudes who, like, act like you're in a relationship, but then it's like they don't want the title. It's like, okay, we're literally going to do everything and, like, basically be together, but then we're not together. Like, that's so annoying. But then it's like, oh, people be having their own situations. And that's not to say, like, because I feel like you can also, at least I know for me, it's also easy to go down that road of, like, oh, like, basically not, like, I want to say not giving them any responsibility. Would that be correct? Like, not giving them any responsibility for just being shitty. Like, you don't always have to be like, oh, well, they have, like, past trauma, or they, it's just like, that's who they are. They have an insecure attachment style, whatever. Don't be too understanding, bitch. Sometimes people are just, like, shitty and rude and, like, inconsiderate of others, and that's that. Yeah, they're probably acting that way for a reason. Past experiences, their childhood, like, you just never know. But it's not like you need to feel bad for them. You can just be like, okay, I don't need to take this personally. It's not about me. But then at the same time, it's like, have some responsibility for yourself too. But yeah, there's like a balance between all of it. Because I definitely know that there's been times where, like, a guy definitely did me dirty. Even to, like, a light degree, like, some bullshit happened. And then it's like, okay, well, I just never want, in any situation, to, like, fully blame the other person. Like, I just always want, at the end of the day, want to, like, take responsibility for what I could have done better. Like, I could have spoken up. I could have shared how I was feeling earlier. But it's like, you also don't want to take 100% of the responsibility and, like, blame. Because then when serious situations come up too, it's like, you have to forgive yourself as well. I feel like I'm talking about so many different things at once, but I hope y'all get the vibe. I saw this, I don't know if it was on her page or someone else's page, but, like, sometimes you just have to tell yourself, I did what I could with however much I knew at the time, or what I was able to at the time, or, like, whatever. So again, there's a balance. Don't take it personally, but also take responsibility for your shit, but also don't not blame them at all. If it's meant to be, then it will be, and you won't have to, like, grasp onto it, and you won't have to feel like that, Like, don't force it. Vibes. What have I said before? Like, it's one thing to put yourself out there, but if you put yourself out there and you're, like, not getting a response or a good response back, like, Don't be afraid to step away. Like, okay. And I just really think of it like you are dodging a bullet. There was this guy I went on a date with once, and he was so fucking fine and tall and just like wow. Like, wow. And we only ever had one date, and I remember we were both texting. He texted me like right after the date. He was a fucking water sign too. Like, I was like in love with him for a day. But he texted me right after. He was like, wow, like, you're amazing. Like, I honestly didn't expect that to go so well. And I was like, bitch. And he was like, I need to see you like again really soon. And then we like, you know, said we're gonna hang out or we're gonna see each other this day. And I remember he just like didn't hit me up. And I was like, are you serious? Like, he's grown. Like, he was like in his 30s for sure. And I just remember being pissed. And like, he finally texted me like the next day or a couple days later. I don't even remember what happened, but I remember saying something like, I thought we were, like, I kind of brought it up, and then he was just very, like, flaky about it and just very, like, annoying about it. Like, I didn't feel like a priority, basically, and I just felt like, okay, if you are going to say all this stuff, like, why are you not acting on it? So I just remember feeling, like, a little sad and disappointing because I was like, damn, I felt like that first date was so good, and like I'm so attracted to him, and he's like tall and has his shit together, and I was like, wow. But I had to remind myself, and even now, like, sometimes I'll still think about him, like, he was so fine. But I have to remind myself, you went on one date, you don't even, like, I really feel like it was the universe looking out for me in some way, like, whether it was like some bullshit would have happened if I would have kept seeing him, or like I don't actually know his real personality, or like maybe he had a wife or something. Like, you just never know. So that's why I really feel like if it's meant to be, it will be, because, you know, if it was meant to be, I feel like, you know, he probably would have actually made the plan, the second date or whatever. Like, he would have made it happen. He wouldn't have acted like weird and flaky. We would have kept talking, you know, it just would have flowed, I think, right? So it's like, you don't know. Especially in a situation like that where you've gone on one date or you've hung out a couple times, like, you don't know them. I feel like it takes a while for you to really know someone. And like, have you seen them when they're mad? Have you had a disagreement with them? Like, it goes deeper than that. Than just like, they're cute and tall. Our signs are compatible. Like, you don't know them. So yeah, just keep all these things in mind. Like, sometimes it's really like good. I had a nice date. Let's leave it at that. Because you just never know. What was I watching? I feel like some kind of Jersey Shore, not an interview, but like a promo vid where they play a little game or whatever. And it was something like this girl, it was one of the boys, and they were like, this girl, like, took my $100 hoodie or something, like, stole it and never gave it back. Or, like, she took it so she would have an excuse to go back to see him again, but then was, like, acting like a stalker, blowing him up, like. And I feel like that's what I was watching. It was something like that. And they were like, basically, it was like, if all I have to do is lose a hoodie and that's all I lose, like, fine, let's leave it at that. Like, small price to pay for maybe what could have happened if, again, kept hanging out, or like, you just never know. I feel like, you know, everything happens for a reason. And that's not to say we don't have a say in like our fate or like whatever, but I feel like sometimes you just gotta let people go, because like, you really don't know them. Yeah, it's so easy, especially when you're attracted to someone, to like think of them in this glowing light and like imagine a future together, or like, oh my god, like, yeah, it's fun to have a little daydream, but let's come back to reality. Like, yeah. How do we even get started talking about this? I don't remember. But, yeah. Dude, that's what I miss about going out. Like, I miss, like, what are the not wanting to commit in a relationship thing is? The chase, the excitement, the novelty. That's what I miss. Like, damn. And I feel like I can do my makeup better now. Like, what do we even have left to talk about? Mercury's direct now, so that's good. I think Mars is still retrograde until maybe this week or next week. New moon on the 14th. My manifestation time. Oh, Mars goes direct Friday the 3rd. It's Friday the 13th this Friday? Oh. Yay. Oh my god, thank God. Mars goes direct on Friday the 13th, so the day after this podcast goes up. After this, we're moving full steam ahead with our plans and our aggression. The retrograde haze is lifting, and this is from Zora.medium.com. I love that. So, thank God. This was a great time to really reflect on, I feel like this past month, really, and what have we learned? What challenges did we face? What kind of conclusions have we come to about maybe whatever we've been thinking about? What kind of past events we've been thinking about, etc. I just know that I feel like I've experienced so much self-realizations and self-growth and just I want to say different priorities, but maybe just I can't think of the word. Not restating, but like a revalidating, okay, yeah, I definitely know what my priorities are now. What's the word? Let me know down below. Reinstating? No. And I just can't wait for the holidays. Hopefully I get to see my family. So I feel like that's also why I don't really want to go out or anything, because I just really want to stay low-key as much as possible because I'm going to go see them. And I've been loving how cold it's been. Anyway, I honestly feel like that's all I have to say. I was just most excited to chat with y'all today and kind of catch up because it's been over a week, So let me know what you want me to talk about in next week's episode. And if you have anything to add on to this, any of your thoughts or personal experiences or whatever, don't hesitate to leave a comment or DM me. And I would love to hear from you. Don't forget to screenshot this, put it on your story, or tweet it to me so I can retweet, repost, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye, everyone.